There was a hunter in the woods, who after a long day hunting was in the middle of an immense forest. It was getting dark, and having lost his bearings, he decided to head in one direction until he was clear of the increasingly oppressive foliage. After what seemed like hours, he came across a cabin in a small clearing. Realizing how dark it had grown, he decided to see if he could stay there for the night. He approached and found the door ajar. Nobody was inside. The hunter flopped down on the single bed, deciding to explain himself to the owner in the morning. As he looked around, he was surprised to see the walls adorned by many portraits, all painted in incredible detail. Without exception, they appeared to be staring down at him. Their features twisted into looks of hatred. Staring back, he grew increasingly uncomfortable, making a concerted effort to ignore the many hateful faces. He turned to face the wall, and exhausted, he fell into a restless sleep. Face down in an unfamiliar bed, he turned, blinking in unexpected sunlight. Looking up, he discovered that the cabin had no portraits, only windows. A few years ago, a mother and father decided they needed a break, so they wanted to head out for a night on the town. They called their most trusted babysitter. When the babysitter arrived, the two children were already fast asleep in bed. So the babysitter just got to sit around and make sure everything was okay with the children. Later that night, the babysitter got bored and went to watch TV, but she couldn't watch it downstairs because they did not have cable downstairs. The parents didn't want children watching too much garbage. So she called them and asked them if she could watch cable in the parents' room. Of course, the parents said it was okay. But the babysitter had one final request. She asked if she could cover up the angel statue outside the bedroom window with a blanket or cloth, because it made her nervous. The phone line was silent for a moment, and the father, who was talking to the babysitter at the time, said, "Take the children and get out of the house. We'll call the police. We don't own an angel statue." The police found both of their children and the babysitter slumped in pools of their own blood. Within 3 minutes of the call, no statue was found. In this world, there exists a spirit, neither male nor female. The spirit is covered with a dark cloth, with a separate white cloth to cover its head. It is said to carry on an enormous brown burlap sack, in which it holds its victims. It said that the second its name has been called out, either directly or indirectly, the person is collected and becomes the property of the spirit. Many who have witnessed its appearance have said to have gone insane, and whether later found with their eyes gouged out. This spirit is very, very real, and failure to prevent the mention of its name will cause Candlejack to come and whisk you away. Awa. Oh, this is the story of a day where there's all this blood. A man was walking around and blood started coming out of him everywhere. There was so much blood that it filled up an elevator. He went to the store and there was just blood all over the place. People were slipping in it and they're all grossed out. He tried to go swimming, and all the sharks went nuts and bended everybody. He got chased by all the vampires ever. One time, the blood got a kid and a dog. At the end of the day, everyone decided they would send him to space so that he would stop getting blood everywhere. The scariest part is that the man was you, or he was a lady. If you are a lady, then you forgot that this happened. Okay, so basically, it's like this. You're at a friend's house for like the night or whatever. And then you guys are making out on the couch. Yeah. And then like her dad calls on the phone and says, No, she likes it more than if you use the other hand. Yeah. And you're like, oh dude, your dad is trying to give me advice how to diddle you. And then she's like, I don't have a dad, or whatever. But what? Who was phone? Also, so you're with your honey, and you're making out when the phone ring-ins. You answer it, and the voice is, what are you doing with my daughter? You tell your girl, she say, my dad is dead. Then who was phone? First off, I would like to say, thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure. And if I reach 100 subscribers, I'll be reading the Twisted Ones. Oh, hold on a second. Would you excuse me for a second? No! Go to sleep. Good night, everyone.